Hello everyone. Welcome to Data Analytics Professionals and I'm Shahnaz Malik. Let's quickly jump into today's lecture topic. This is a lecture series about AWS and machine learning. And current topic of this lecture is going to be about AWS identity and access management and especially about creating first IAM delegated user and group. This is lecture number 9 in this series. Now, we all know when we are in a project, professional work environment and do work for a project, we mostly share project work in a team environment and share various project tasks among multiple team members. As a project manager for any data scientist or machine learning project, you must plan and create users and grant them access only to those resources and permissions which suits their role to perform the task you want them to accomplish to achieve project and organizational business goals. Now, for this reason, you will need to manage your AWS account and its various services at various stages. You will need to create various types of IAM users and create various types of IAM groups and attach policies to these IAM groups, which could be used by IAM users. Now, furthermore, grant required permissions to those IAM users and then add IAM users to the necessary groups as you create them. Now, depending on the size of your organization and the need to manage the project, you are given you can create AWS administrator as the one we already created in the previous lecture, who can then manually create and manage the users and groups or use custom IAM roles, federation or single sign-on. Creating a delegated IAM user and group through console, you can use the AWS Management Console to create an IAM group with delegated permissions and then create an IAM user for someone else and add it to the group. And that's what we are going to do here. And to do, and to accomplish the task, we need to follow the instructions given on these slides on the presentation from 1 onwards. Now, the step number 1 is simply you need to sign in into AWS Management Console, but this time, last time we used the root access, username and password, but this time we are going to use the administrator account and the password which we created in the previous lecture, or maybe you have created it, before coming on to this lecture. So whether you have created administrator yourself or whether you have followed from the last lecture, so that's what you need. We strongly recommend not to use a root user username and password for accomplishing these tasks, as we have suggested, recommended in the previous lectures. So let's have an administrator account and take it from there. Now let's go quickly onto the website of AWS website, and here I am. So if you see, all you need to go is, as I have shown you in the previous lecture, go onto this website and sign into the console. Okay. Now once you sign in into the console, you will need to sign in as an IAM user. Okay. If something is showing you here as root user and IAM user, click on the IAM user and then click next, and you will be on this website. You should be on this website. If you are not on this website, just make sure that you choose sign in as an IAM user, then give your administrator. See, so here I'm going to give this administrator, okay, account. So you choose your administrator account and then give the password, and you need this account ID. If you don't have this account ID here, what I suggest, go back into your root user account and then choose if I remember from my memory, I could say that if you don't have that account ID, what you need to do is go back and sign in as a root user and give the password, and then find the IAM dashboard. Okay, and from there here go into the users and find your administrator, click on that administrator, and you will find details. And there will be detail where you need a number, ID number, which should start, which should be something like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. It's approximately 12 number. It will be embedded in address, so you just take it from there and come back, log it out and come back here, and then add here your ID as required. Okay, now once you have all this, once you have IAM username, which is administrator, password, you have all this, you sign in. Now, if you see, if you you should come back onto this AWS management console here. As last time, we have already logged in into IAM. You should have this IAM, but if you don't have, just go into there here and just type IAM. Okay, and as soon as you type IAM, it should pop up. But if whether you do it like this or whether you have recently visited this service, you click on that, and you will move on to the this page. And here what you need to do is go on to the policies. Okay, so once you go on to the policies, what you need to do is you might, if this is your first time choosing policies, the welcome page should appear. So just choose get started, and here what we need to do is create policy. We are interested, once you are on this page, we are interested in this create policy. Now here what we need to do is we will choose this JSON tab, and okay, and once you have this JSON tab clicked, all you need to do is go here, okay, which is showing you import manage policies. Okay, just click on here, and to find the policy that we are interested in, what we are going to do is filter policies. Go into search box and just write power. Okay, so once you write power, you need power user access, you need this policy. Okay, we are interested in power user access policy name, and we click on that and we say import. Okay, we click on import. So once you have imported, what will happen, the imported policy is now imported. If you see, this is your imported policy. Starting from here, this is your new imported policy that we are looking. So all we need to do is just have a review. It's just showing you what version it is, and then effect allow, and all those restrictions or whatever privileges this policy has. Okay, so if you see resources all, effect allow, actions, this is the policy. Okay, now what we need to do next, we go on to review the policy. And here once you click on this review, we will have this review policy page, create policy, review policy page. And here what we need to do is now type the name of this policy. And what we are going to do, we are going to type, I think the best, as I have suggested on the slides, I think I have suggested something like if I remember correctly, I think it's power user example crop. Okay, corp. So once you type in this and for description, what I suggest is type some useful description. And I will, as I have suggested, I will type allow full access. Okay, allow full access to all services, to all services, allow access, and maybe accept except those for user management. I think this is what I think I had put onto the slide. But you can put any useful description that makes sense to this policy. Okay, that makes sense to this post. So I could say allows full access to all services except those for user management. I think this makes sense. And then I can scroll down. Then I can scroll down. Okay. So I'm scrolling down from here and I have to create the policy now. Okay, I'm creating this policy. So I click on the create policy and save my work. And now in the navigation, if you see, now we are back into the navigation pane, and now we will choose groups. Okay, policy is created. If you see, power user example corp has been created. That's excellent. So once we created policy, we need to now go on to the groups. Okay, and then we will choose, once we click on to this groups, we will create new group. Excellent. Once you have clicked that new group, we will land onto this page that is set group name. Okay, set group name. So, and here we are going to type some meaningful group name, and I think the best that I have suggested is power power users. Power users. Okay, so and we will go on to, once we write power users, what we need to do. And you can type any name that you think is meaningful, what I suggest, you can type any meaningful group name, whatever your bosses have given you instructions, and depending on the project needs, depending on the organizational structure, your team structure, this may vary, but I'm just giving you this foundation about how to do all this. Okay, now let's go back onto the website where we have been talking. So group name is power users. Okay, and then we click next step. Excellent. So once we click the next step, and what we need to do, and now we have here attach policy. Okay, attach policy name, and you remember which policy we created just now. Okay, just now in previous steps, if you go or type here filter power. Okay, and you should get your power user example corp. Okay, you should get this, and this is what we are going to attach this policy now. So I click on here. Okay, power user example corp, and then I go on to the next step. Okay, and once I go on to the next step, I am reviewing. So what I'm just seeing here, that group name is this power users, and policies is the one we created, and I'm happy. That's what I need to do, and I'm going to say create this group. Excellent. Now I have created the group. Now in the navigation pane, I'm going to choose users. Now we started from policies, we went through groups, and now I'm going to choose users, and now I'm going to choose add user. Okay, and on this page where I'm saying where I'm saying add user, I'm setting user details. So I'm going to, first user which I'm going to create, I'm going to say mim, for example, and I'm going to say dap.com. DAP is short for data analytics professionals.com. Okay, so if I put mim at dap.com, and then what I could say, after typing this, I'm going to use another, click on add another user, and here I am going to, for example, I am going to put Shahnaz Malik, and I'm going to put on DAP at dap.com. So these are the two users I'm going to add, and then I am going to give both of them AWS Management Console access. Okay, excellent. So now you see that two users are being created. Okay, and access is given as AWS Management Console access, and auto generated password, I'm going to keep it auto generated password. Okay, but I will clear this require password reset. I don't want user must create a new password at sign in. Rather, I will create an auto generated password. Last time we put custom password, but this time we are putting auto generate password so that you guys can understand how different versions, different options can work. Okay, now as you have done all this, the next thing is we move on to the next to permissions. Okay, and here if you see now we have landed add user to group. We need to add this user to group, and if you remember just now we created these power users and we need to put these two users into this group, and we will click. That's what we need to click. Simple, nothing special, very simple. Okay, so add user to group and select the checkbox to power user, and then we will move on to next tags. Excellent. So here you can put key value for and adding tags. I'm going to because this is optional, as you see clear, I'm not going to use it at this moment of time. I'm going to move on to the next for review, for reviewing all this. Okay, and all you need to do is just check is everything okay here, and if you find any mistakes then go back and correct them. But if you see everything is okay and I'm happy with everything here, and I'm going to create users here. Okay, so these two users will be created, and excellent. And that's what, if you see in the previous lecture, we reached to the point where it's showing us the task is now completed successfully. And just to remember, we could now download or copy this stuff through email to these two users. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to download this stuff. Okay, I'm going to download this new user, and I'm going to name it as say power user. So my power users user credential CV. So I'm going to save it as this file. Now once I download it, okay, what I could do, I could separately provide these users with a link to their IAM user console, and give them these credentials so that they can log into it. And I could have done it through email, and I downloaded it, and I can later on securely provide them with these instructions. Excellent. And once you have done all this, all you need to do is close this tab, and your task is accomplished. Okay, your task is accomplished. Now if you see how easy it has been for all of you guys, it has been easy. Let's quickly go into the presentation now, and I will quickly show you that this is what was there. There was nothing special than this. This is what I have requested there. So if you see now, here is the sign in, and then pick the IAM services, then go into navigational pan, and then pick policies, and then you are creating policy here. Okay, if you see, then you are moving into that JSON tab and doing all that what I have requested for importing a policy, and then reviewing policy, and then basically once you create that policy, then you are moving into create a group. Okay, that's what we did. I don't want to just give you text lecture, but rather I showed you practically how to do all that. And if you see that here is the policy name that we created, and then we are creating a group, and then we are picking users. If you see adding user, and we are picking these two users, and then we are basically attaching them to putting these two users into power users group, and then moving into tags, and if I said this is optional, and reviewing everything and downloading everything. And that's what it was. And if you see, that is end of the task. Now here's the time to test your progress, and that is write down everything you learned from this and the previous lectures about uh, write down everything you learned from this and previous lectures about AWS services, especially about AWS identity and access management, and creating first IAM delegated user and group. So that is good way, that is good way to actually test what you have done. I suggest go back into this AWS account and you try yourself, delete what you have done and you can redo everything. Or you can create other users. If I have created 2 users, you create 3 users, and you do it twice, you do it thrice, make different groups and see, just for practicing, just understand the process, how to pick a policy, how to import a policy, how to create a group, how to attach those policies which you created, custom policies. You can change, you can edit policies, and you can then attach them to the group, and with that group, you can add users, and then you can share the credentials with the users and they will enjoy these privileges. So now, I am going in next topic. For those who like this lecture and would like to remain in the series, I'm going to the next lecture is going to be about reducing the group permissions. Okay, and with that is the question time, and I would like to ask you, how do you rate this lecture and the presentation on the scale of 0 to 10, and where 10 is the best? So rate this lecture, and with that is a studio time with myself, and I hope that you like the lecture and all the everything what I have shown you. Hope you liked, hope you are going to share this video with others. I'm going to take leave from here, but I suggest you to watch this lecture until end, because I am going to provide all of you with a lot of other informations, how to remain connected with us, and there are some suggestions, and just take note of them. And with that, I take leave and stay safe.